All right. Um, hey, Jane, welcome back to the Focus on Winning podcast. So glad to have you here.
I'm so excited to be back here. How are you?
Oh, I'm so awesome. I feel so awesome today. I mean, I have a lot of tasks that I have done, and I've been doing great since we've met. So,
Fantastic. And
you
I
know,
you know I love your Yankees hat too. So that's, even
thank
better.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So, how about you say what's up to our winners too?
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Jean, and if you didn't catch our last session,
Interview.
my last conversation with Ashraf last time, I am a scholarship strategist, and I am an expert in outside scholarships. So scholarships that are from companies, organizations,
Mm-hmm.
individuals, foundations, and scholarships where if a student wins them, they can use that money for educational expenses at any college or university. So lots of opportunity out there. And I'm really excited, Asraf, since the last time that you and I chatted. My book, Scholarship Strategies, actually
Uh-huh.
became a bestseller. So we're really excited about
Ooh,
that. Super cool.
wow.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thanks.
So, we've been knowing each other for 1 year, and we have talked a lot about strategies, scholarship strategies, how to get them, how to prepare for it, even what kind of scholarships, right? So, uh, what improvement have you made so far since we met? Like, is there
You,
an improvement
yeah,
about strategies or the impact of student?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, the impact of how scholarships can really shift and transform a family's situation has been hugely changed with the worldwide pandemic. COVID
Mm-hmm.
19 really has. Uh, it's really impacted all of us, right? Lots
Mm-hmm.
of
Yeah.
lots of folks have were either out of work or not able to work as much, and
Mm-hmm.
just the whole financial life for most of us literally around the world has shifted and changed. So the importance of scholarships as far as an additional way to reduce college costs is more important than ever before.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, what kind of improvement have you made so far?
Yeah, we've been able to since our last chat, we've been able
Mm-hmm.
to really find ways to be able to help students all around the world. I'm the
Mm-hmm.
co-founder of Connections 101, which is actually
Mm-hmm.
located in New York City, but
Mm-hmm.
we work with families all over the world. Through now we're able to help families virtually, right? Through
Nice.
individual coaching. I've been running scholarship clubs that happen virtually as a group, and that's a whole new experience. It's been
Mm-hmm.
a big shift because usually schools pay us to come in, run the programs for the students, and
Mm-hmm.
now since we've all been working in Zoom rooms and Skype rooms
Yeah.
and
Right.
spaces like this. We need to be able to help one another, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just there's some great little lights that have popped up at the end of the tunnel, and one has been being able to like virtually work with now students everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been
Mm-hmm.
extremely exciting.
Wow, that's a huge improvement. I mean, did you use these strategies before, or is this the new strategies?
Yeah, so there's 25 strategies that are actually featured in
Mm-hmm.
our scholarship resource guide, And,
Mm-hmm.
some of them now are more important than ever. We've been, using these strategies, now for over 10 years, helping
Oh.
students find, tens of thousands of dollars.
Uh-huh.
In fact, I don't want to forget to tell you, I just got a notification about another recent big scholarship winner. There was a young lady who was a graduating high school senior who I met
Hmm.
just a few months ago, and she took the strategy, she ran with it, and
Uh-huh.
she ended up winning for herself one scholarship that is $10,000 a year US for 4 years. So that's $40,000 US. Plus, she won another scholarship already that's $2,500. So already in just a few months of time, and she's still got more awards to come in, she's already won $42,500, which is so
What?
exciting. Yeah, I know. It's awesome. So the strategies, I'll tell you, like right now, this one major strategy that is definitely a new strategy that's timely for what's been happening in our world is, to and I encourage anyone who's watching the show, listening to the show, to think about like what have you done and what could you do during
Mm-hmm.
this time of this, pandemic that's happening around the world. What can you do to add your energy to help others? Because, helping others, there's huge amounts of money in community service
Mm-hmm.
scholarships. And
Mm-hmm.
this is an opportunity. I mean, wherever you are in the world, have you strategically, like think about it, use your time and energy to help a neighbor, help the community, reach out. And because this is a time that you can take action, and scholarship committees can, reward you for that down the road.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the scholarship strategies is more focused on the high school students, or do you have
That's a
primary
really great
school
question.
students?
Yeah. So that's a really
Mm-hmm.
great question. So, no, not just high school students. So there's scholarships from companies, organizations, individuals, foundations,
Oh.
for students at any age, any
Uh-huh.
stage of life. So if you are, an undergrad at college or university, if you are a graduate student, if you are, heading off to med school, heading off to law school, if you are an adult who is going back to school because you want to, improve yourself, to advance within your own career, there's
Mm-hmm.
opportunities. There's even scholarships for younger kids. So
Mm-hmm.
what I tell families all the time, just as the reminder, is that at any age and any stage of life, there
Mm-hmm.
are scholarships if you want to pursue them to help you with your educational goals.
Mm-hmm. So is there even a scholarship for an employee?
Yeah, sure. So
Huh.
some companies will have scholarship programs, and you should always check with the human resources department at your companies to find out if there's
Mm-hmm.
a scholarship. You should also check with your own, if you're part of any unions, if you're part of any local clubs, local organizations, see if there's scholarships for family members. Absolutely. And I want to encourage anyone also who's listening and watching out there, is that, small business owners can really benefit by putting together a scholarship. I'm a huge
Mm-hmm.
advocate for scholarship creation because it's a major win-win for local small businesses. I mean, there could be, you could put together even taking a small amount of money, let's say $500 US, and
Mm-hmm.
instead of using that for Facebook ads or web advertising, right? Like, what if you use that actually for creating a scholarship? And then you could actually reach out to universities, you could reach out to schools, you could reach out to whoever it is that you as a business are trying to target. And you could say, hey, you know what? I have a scholarship and this is what I'm going to be awarding. Post it on your website. That traffic will be driven to your website. It'll increase your social media. And when you do offer a scholarship as a small business, guess what? Media loves that. Like, they want to announce that. They want to post it in the newspapers, announce it on radio shows, announce it on television shows, and then you give the scholarship away. Again, another whole flood of media. So guess what? That small amount of money that maybe you would have spent on, advertising or outreach in some other area can actually yield you as a business, sometimes 4 or 5, 6 times that as far as reach. And then you've also helped someone out with their education. Pretty amazing.
Wow. I never knew you could use scholarship from the university for business owner. Is that
it's not a scholarship. It's not a scholarship from the university, right? It would be a scholarship. It could be a scholarship. Let's say Asraf, you wanted to put together a scholarship for your show. Right. And maybe you want to, honor, you get to decide what the scholarship is about. But let's say you wanted to honor, young people who wanted to go into media. Right. And you could literally have that scholarship posted at every university, even worldwide, that has a communications department. Right. And all those people are going to be coming to your website to get that application, and you then get to, award that money. Because see, this is the thing. This is what people need to understand. There are 2 types of scholarships out there. One, that are scholarships from a university. You win the money, you got to use it at that university. Okay, that's my company's in New York City. A lot of people know NYU, New York University. I personally live in New Jersey in the States. So that's where Princeton is, right? So if somebody gets accepted, gets a scholarship from Princeton, they have to use the scholarship at Princeton. They get a scholarship from New York University, they have to use it at that university. But the scholarship from Google, the scholarship from Burger King, the scholarship from any number of organizations or companies, could even be your company. A student wins that money. They can use it anywhere they go. They could use it for the books or their travel expenses or, their other expenses that they have for school. And that is what is so exciting. That's why this could be a game changer.
So you're saying that we can apply a scholarship from Google and then use it to travel? Or is
you're able to, every scholarship will have their own criteria, right? They'll list their own criteria in the scholarship. And some scholarships they'll say right there in their fine print that if you win it, you have to tell us where you're going to school. And then they send that money directly to the school for your account, right? Or you get a check in the mail. So some scholarships that I won were sent directly to the university that I went to, the college that I went to, and some I got a check in the mail. It depends. I will tell you, the larger the scholarship is, the more likely it is going to be a scholarship that will be sent directly, to your account at the college or the university. But, there's scholarships that could be, $1,000, $5,000, $2,500, where you're getting that check in the mail, and you're able to use it at whatever type of educational expenses you have. If you are somebody who doesn't have to pay for college. Maybe the university is giving you a full ride. You have no, then I would say strategically, you want to look and apply for scholarships that are not going to send the award directly to the college or the university, right? You want to strategically put your time and energy behind scholarships where you will directly get the award for yourself.
Oh, all right. So how do they decide if that scholarship is the right for them? Like, do they have to choose? Let's say they stay in the New Jersey, and do they have to choose from New Jersey or from Google? You know what I'm saying? Like,
So do you mean like, how do I know where how this scholarship is going to be awarded?
no, how do they apply for the right scholarships? Like you mentioned earlier that if they stay in New Jersey, they have to get it from New Jersey. And if
No,
they
let's say if there's a scholarship that is from a specific university. So I was mentioning a lot of people are familiar with Princeton University. Princeton University is in New Jersey. And if you get a particular scholarship that is from Princeton, I can't use it at Harvard, right? I can't use it at Harvard. I can only use it at Princeton, right? So that is what's called a college specific scholarship, right? But there are, so that is, and frankly, those are the scholarships that most people are focused on because they're applying for colleges or universities and they want to know. And you should always take a look at those opportunities. But now more than ever, families, wherever you are, should be looking at private scholarships in addition, because you can stack the money. You can keep stacking the money. There's no cap on scholarships. So let's say you are that student who gets a scholarship from Princeton University. You're going to go to Princeton University and you take that scholarship from Princeton University. Guess what? Let's also stack on top of it the scholarship from Google. Let's stack on top of it the scholarship from Burger King, right? Let's stack on top of it all that other money as well, right? There's no cap on outside scholarships and you can win as much as you can.
Nice. So there's no limits.
No limits. The only time that there would be scholarships that you would no longer be eligible for is if there is a scholarship that you're applying to that relates to financial need, right? Because if you are being awarded, let's say, a scholarship from a college or university, and it removes the financial need, right, of your family, then if there is a scholarship from a private organization that is connected to financial need, you are no longer eligible, right? But financial need is just one of many, many, many categories. I'll tell you, Ashraf, there's, everybody thinks that scholarships are only for people who have the top grades, are the top athletes, or have financial need. Nothing could be further from the truth. I mean, if there's money for those students, sure. But there's scholarships if you simply choose to write a poem, create an interesting video. If you want to, for students who have done some sort of community outreach, right? Community service, tons of different scholarships, and not just all related to grade, sports, or financial need.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned it in a podcast before that you say that it's about travel, and you can also apply for Doodle for Google.
Yeah,
and
yeah, the Doodle for
isn't that?
Google scholarship. I'm glad you remembered that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the name is kind of catchy, so it
Yeah.
kind of sticks out to me. So Jean, everything is sounds so awesome. Yeah, you mean like how can they win that? Like a lot of people can bring those money bring into their accounts. So how about you share us a step-by-step process on how to get that scholarship, how to win that?
Sure. So yeah, like definitely and so first of all, I want to say such a great question because this is the question that I get all the time. Like how do I
Oh,
actually get started? How do I do this?
yeah.
I want to let everyone know I actually have there's a free downloadable PDF at our website, which is connections101.com. And
Mm-hmm.
on just how to get started, easy and how to get started. But I'll break it down super, super simple
Simple.
for people to
Okay.
go after this money. Okay.
All right.
So number one is the first step is to create what I call your personal search engine list. So this
Mm-hmm.
is a really important step, and it's what a personal search engine list is. It's basically a big description about you, like
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like
what have you
CV.
done in the classroom, outside of the classroom? What are
Mm-hmm.
your the clubs, the activities that you've been part of, and
So it's kind of
also
like resume, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like that resume of all the things that you've gotten done, but also too, and this is a biggie, in
Mm-hmm.
that personal search engine list, I want you to list all of what I call ready to go material. So ready to
Mm-hmm.
go material are all of the essays, the papers, the projects, the things that you did either in university or in secondary school that um, you had as
That
homework.
related.
It's already
Mm-hmm.
written. It's already done. Let's make a list of all of those things because your time's already been spent. Let's find a
Mm-hmm.
scholarship connected to that, right? If it doesn't matter if you are going to be, let's say, a future business major or an engineering major. You could take the poem that you wrote in school, and most of us have to write a poem at some class at school. You could take the
Mm-hmm.
poem that you wrote, apply for a ton of poetry scholarships, take that money, pay
Mm-hmm.
for the business degree, take that
Mm-hmm.
money, pay for the engineering degree. It's ready to go material. So this is all part of step number one, just putting all of this together. So this is kind of opening up our mind right from the beginning of
All right.
all the opportunities that we could be searching on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then step
Right.
number two, where you find all these scholarships. So there's 4 places you can find scholarships. Definitely through your school, and that's either your college or university or your high school. They're going to know about the different local scholarships that are available just for students at those campuses, and ask questions. Like ask questions, find out. What are those opportunities? What are they looking for in ideal candidates? What do I need to do to
Mm-hmm.
qualify? Because what happens
Mm-hmm.
is we don't take that time to find out what am I going to do to be the best qualified candidate. Let's qualify ourselves so I can get that money.
Right.
Second place we find
Mm-hmm.
second place we find the money is something you mentioned just earlier, and that is through our family members, right? Checking out with family member companies, checking out with family members unions or clubs or organizations. Third place would be book directories, and fourth place would be online sources. I actually have a list of tons of scholarship search engines that I recommend. I have no affiliation with any of them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
at our website, connections101.com. Go ahead, print it out, and go to town. And then the
Awesome.
last major step is how you actually organize yourself, right?
Uh-huh.
So this is really super important because if it's overwhelming or if it feels like it's too much, we won't do it. We stop dead in our tracks. And so getting ourselves organized is the key to making this easy. Okay. So organize your scholarships by month and year. Focus on scholarships that are due just this month, right? You come across a scholarship that is due 6 months from now, or it's a scholarship that is just for students in law school and you are years away from your plans at law school. Hey, guess what? Just copy and paste that link, put it into a virtual calendar for yourself. So that way you won't have to search for it again. It'll already be there. And then organize your time. I mean, I recommend a half hour 3 times a week for, applying for scholarships. You can always up it if you get inspired, but, small, doable pieces of time to dedicate to this doesn't have to be a part-time job, and we can get out a lot of applications.
Nice. So I want to go back into what you're saying. The first step is have a search engine, kind of like the name. I don't get the name.
Creating what I call a personal search engine list. This
Personal
becomes
search engine
your,
list.
it's like your Google list, right? Like everything about you. I mean, yeah.
How do they put it?
Sure. An easy way to kind of brainstorm your personal search engine list is thinking about what you did in your past, what you're doing now, and what you want to do in your future, right? So past, present, future. And also who you are. Like, there's scholarships if you're tall, there's scholarships if you're short, there's scholarships if you are religious, there's scholarships if you're not religious. Who are you? Like, put it down on a big brainstorm. I actually recommend anyone who's doing this, you should do it as like a fun brainstorming exercise with the people in your life who know you best. Your family, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, whoever it is, in your life who know you best. Have them help you organize, just help you brainstorm to think about everything about who you are. Because what happens, Asraf, is that people get so focused on, here's what I want to do with my life. And they just focus on scholarships for that, right?
Okay.
And there's so much more than that. Example, if you play video games, guess what? There's scholarships for playing video games. Do you have pets at home? Guess what? You can apply for scholarships for caring for animals. I mean, we are so much more than just what we want to do with our life or our grade point average. Yeah.
Where do they put this personal engine, search engine? Oh God, so hard the name.
The personal search engine list. Yeah.
Yes.
So this becomes the personal search engine list becomes your tool. It becomes your tool for you to search on use to search on for money.
So it's a part of a ready to go list.
Yeah, well, you're going to add your ready to go materials to, that list. So let's say on your personal search engine list, you've listed your career goal. You've listed, the physical characteristics about you, where you live, where you're from, your GPA, and then you're going to add all those ready to go materials, all the papers, projects, essays, poems, things that you did in classrooms, outside of classrooms. Add all of those to the list, because this now becomes they each become your almost like your search word, right? It's like these become your Google search words, right? These become your search. Every one of those topics, let's go find some scholarships for them. So you want to do a big old brainstorm on your personal search engine list. More opportunities means more scholarships that you can apply for.
Okay, now I get it. All right, so the third one is I think it's about managing ourselves, where we just
organizing our time. Yeah, I mean, organizing our time. The more that we can be organized, the easier and more simplified this can be. So often people will say, does this have to be some sort of part-time job? I don't want to, I don't have a lot of time, and it doesn't have to take a lot of time. Let's focus on, again, key here. This is an important tip. You want to focus on 1 month at a time. So what are the scholarships that are due just this month? Okay. next month's scholarship, I'll get to those in a few weeks, right? So I want you to focus on 1 month at a time. As you come across scholarships that have future deadlines, just copy that link, put it in and paste it into a virtual calendar for yourself. So, and a little helpful tip here is to put it all to keep an ongoing list in maybe the first day of every month in your virtual calendar. Okay. So that way I'm not looking all over for when these deadlines are going to be. I look up, like you said, maybe the Doodle for Google scholarship and I, post that in the month for their deadline. And then I can always take a look. Cause here's the deal. Sometimes, right? Because the year can change from year to year. A deadline may shift from the middle of the month to the last day of the month or the beginning of the month. But most scholarship committees will keep a scholarship within that month. So if you've copy and pasted all to that first day of the month, then you have everything right there. You don't have to keep searching, and you can also, look back. Or have it be something that's an ongoing thing that's, for every year, because scholarships renew, you can apply for them again. Let's do the research once and not have to keep going back.
So Jean, what you are suggesting is we just have to have some sheets of paper and then just put every data that we have, right?
I would suggest a virtual calendar. I mean, I personally like
virtual calendar.
Yeah, use a virtual calendar so you don't have to, keep a whole bunch of paper around. I mean, if you want to, that's fine, but it'll save you time and energy. If you you create maybe a Google Calendar or some sort of virtual calendar, for yourself, and just copy that link, paste it, and that way you have it ready to go.
Awesome strategy there. So, okay. I know, Jean, that you are a scholarship strategist. Does that mean you kind of like a connector between the scholarship giver and the applier?
Yeah, I definitely I am super passionate about helping people help themselves. So, I want people to not be overwhelmed with this process. I want to help them find more money and help them understand which scholarships have the best chances of winning. So, what we do at Connections 101 is, we whether you want to work with us, individually as a family, or you want to be part of a scholarship club, which I'd highly recommend. It's such an amazing way when you are working together to find more scholarships faster. And just, I help to guide people on, strategically how you use your time and energy in the best possible way.
So what's the challenge that you face usually when people ask for your advice or maybe strategies, or maybe when they apply for scholarships? What's the challenge that you usually face?
That's a really good question. The challenge that comes up all the time might be for the family who is needing monies. They're requiring monies for education immediately.
All right.
That is definitely by far the biggest challenge that I come up against. Families who they reach out to me because they've gotten a bill for some sort of educational expense coming up, and they need monies immediately. So that is a challenge, because scholarships, it's not a situation where we apply this week and we get paid in 2 weeks. Right? It doesn't happen that way. There is a challenge of time
preparation.
They usually do. They usually will. Usually they'll pay out well, they pay out always within a year. It could be 6 months. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's as soon as 2 months, right? But there
Mm-hmm.
is always a lag time with actually receiving an award. Because there's a time of application. There's an application duration, right? So
Mm-hmm.
here's what I recommend to any families out there who are faced
Want
with
to
the
apply?
challenge
All right.
of I have an educational expense I have to pay right now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What
Right.
I would recommend is taking a really clear look at how can you, number one, reduce that educational expense immediately right now. And then secondly, let's prioritize scholarships that have shorter application periods. So if we only have so much time, so we want to strategically put our time and energy behind scholarships that are best going to serve us. If there's a scholarship that has a year application period, it might not be a scholarship you want to prioritize. You want to prioritize what are the scholarships that are going to turn around in 2 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are the
Mm-hmm.
scholarships that are going to turn around in 3 months? The scholarships that have the shortest duration time, then those are the ones I want to prioritize strategically now.
Mm-hmm. So all of the challenge are related to families. Is there any other challenge that maybe related to students only, or maybe one person only?
Well, it's for sure usually like the challenge of the time for when
Mm-hmm.
someone needs that money could be from the student, it could be from the family. But also too, sometimes students will find that there might be a challenge in wanting to set aside time to complete an application and write a new essay, or spend the time to fill out
All
a
right.
big application. And here's what I have to say, like, look, choice is the most powerful thing that we own, and you can decide what scholarship you're going to apply to. But scholarships that do require work, the essay, the long application, those are
Mm-hmm.
scholarships that have the better chance of winning. Why? Because most people want to skip that one, right? People don't want it. We're all humans, human beings. We don't want to do work, right? I don't want to do any
Right.
work that I don't have to do, right? So that's human. That's human. So if you are actually choosing to do scholarships that have work required, guess what? That means that you are actually increasing your chances of winning those awards. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And all the more reason, going back to our step one with creating the personal search engine list with ready to go material, all the more reason to dig out any papers, any essays, any things that you have done at university or secondary school to be able to use for a future scholarship. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You already
Mm-hmm.
put the time in, that essay
Right.
was already written. Let's go find a scholarship connected to it.
Nice. So the harder it is, the harder the work is, so the better the chance of winning, right? Well,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So one thing I'm curious, Jean, um, this scholarship sounds awesome, and a lot of things that how should I say this? So if we put ourselves in a someone's perspective that wants a scholarships, it is good to have that money. It is it's good because they get a free education. It's good because they get a free money coming in. But if we put ourselves in a scholarship giver, then why do they give education for free to them? It's like why do they give money for free? And you know like
So why would somebody give what's the incentive to
like
are you asking them what's the incentive to award a scholarship to a student?
no, not really. It's more like a why do these people give people a scholarship, a money for free. Like, do you get what I
Yeah,
mean? Yeah, it's
absolutely.
like.
Like
Mhm.
why would Google put together their Doodle for Google scholarship? Like, why is it like why a company would do that?
Uh-huh. Or maybe why do company give money to people that wants to travel for free? Why do
Sure.
they do that?
Sure. So think
Yeah.
about it. You a company, an individual, a foundation, they you have they have their own mission.
Mm-hmm.
They have their own corporate mission and or their own foundational mission, and perhaps a scholarship could align with that. For example, there's a scholarship that is it's called the Angela Award. All right,
Mm-hmm.
it is
Mm-hmm.
only open to female students in grades 5 through 8. That's it. And even more
Uh-huh.
specifically, female students in grades 5 through 8 who have some interest in science. It's $1,000. It happens every single year. So only female students in middle school grades are able to apply for this scholarship. Why? Because that organization that has put together the Angela Award
Mm-hmm.
has it's part of their mission and their goal as an organization to encourage women to go into the STEM careers, right? Science,
Mm-hmm.
technology,
Mm-hmm.
engineering, and math. So putting together that scholarship aligns with their mission, aligns with their vision for their corporate goals or their organizational goals. And that's why somebody would do it for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow. I never thought about that. I mean, I thought,
Yeah.
yeah, I never, like, it's weird that a company gives money to people for free. So yeah, and now that you have cleared it up for me, so I guess I understand that. And so let's say I want to, so let's guide our listeners here, okay? So let's say
Yes.
I as a listeners want to get advice from you on how to get scholarship. So if I go to you, and then how do you start from there?
Sure. So, if so first off, I would, there's three things that I would give you as options to do. So, um, first option is if you want to do this journey of scholarship searching, on your own. We've put together a lot of free resources, including the How to Get Started guide at Connections 101. So, download those resources, go after this money, be persistent. If you need a little bit of support, if you want a little bit of guidance, I would recommend for people to, join one of our scholarship clubs, which means that you're just working in a group. And I'm able to help guide, groups of students, every single month. And it's, happens all virtually. Students have access to a private Facebook group for that month. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of, mutual support, which I think is so important in this process, right? We get excited right off the bat, but then we need to
Mm-hmm.
stay
Mm-hmm.
excited. We need to stay motivated. And
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes kind of helping each other is one of the best things that we could do. But if you're someone who just wants to do like a deep dive into what is going on for you, we have what are called jumpstart sessions, which is just an individual with one family, a deep dive into what is going on for that student, and will help you map out, plans of action for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So which option do you actually recommend the most?
Yeah, I recommend the scholarship club. I mean, the students who have
Scholarship.
yeah, it's essentially like group coaching.
Uh-huh.
Schools have actually hired my company for many years, running scholarship clubs at like on site at schools.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the students who have had the most success with not just getting, really into this scholarship search process, but staying motivated, staying engaged, staying, focused on, just again, those small, doable little steps that you're going to do each week to keep getting those applications out there. They were all part of scholarship clubs.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, I've had students who've won anywhere from $20,000 to $200,000.
Oh,
And
nice.
I'll tell you, the biggest winners have always been students who were working with other students. Because guess what? Every scholarship you come across is not going to be right for you. Could, though, be right for somebody else. And that somebody else, they could find a bunch that are perfect for you. If you are working with other students, on your scholarship search, then what happens is you spend less time searching and more time applying. And that is a better use of your time.
Right. So, how do we know that that scholarship is the right for us? Let's say I am good at many things, right? So I am good at football, badminton, and podcasting, and also editing some videos. So how do
Sure.
I know which scholarship is right for me?
So I would do searches on every one of those things, every one of those things.
Wow.
And I would even break it down even further. So let's say, for example, you said that you're good at football, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you've even played some football with some younger kids, right? So that could also be mentoring, leadership, right? You could, inspiring a younger person, right? So those are more categories. You are, podcasting. Let's talk about podcasting, right? So that's not just one category, right? It could be on you inspiring people on any number of the subjects that you've had shows on about podcasts in your podcast, right? All of those things. This is how you are actually creating your personal search engine list. All the categories that you can be searching on. And the scholarship for football is going to look different than the scholarship for podcasting, but that's okay. You're going to do a different application for every single one.
Wow. So that's a lot of work actually. If I have to apply for that, dang. Okay.
It's work.
So
It's only work if you're having to create new material, right? So let's say even the scholarships that you have for maybe the scholarship of you that relates to mentoring and inspiring a younger person. And there's some video footage that one of your friends took on their phone, of you playing football with a younger kid, right? Guess what?
right.
That's your application.
Wow.
That can become part of your application. It's
Nice.
a lot of times people think that I have to create all this new stuff. No, use what you have. Look at what you have. What do you have available to you? Let's take all the stuff I've already typed, I've already filmed, I've already created, and let's find monies related to that so I can just send all of that out.
Awesome, Jane. So we are close to an end today, so I think we can wrap up our conversation today. So what's the one thing our winners can do today after listening to this episode?
Yeah. So the number one thing is to recognize that there is money out there for you. There's money out there for everybody. And if you are someone who is looking for monies to help you with any type of educational goal, get started. Great way to get started. Visit my website, connections101.com. Tons of resources there. Reach out to me and also stay connected to me. I post scholarships all the time at our Facebook page and our Instagram page, which is Scholarship Strategies. You can pop me a tweet at Scholarship Gene and let me know how you are. I want to know how much money you win because it's your stories that will actually inspire someone else down the road to really go after that money.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, Jean. So go check out connections101.com and connect with Jean on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to learn more about scholarship strategy. So, Jean, thank you for sharing your ideas and true and insights with us. Really happy to have you here.
Ashraf, I love talking with you. I can't wait to do this again. And
So
be well and
to
be healthy. Yeah.
all right, awesome. So to our winners, I'll catch you another time.
Bye.